Let me ask you something. Have you ever stood up from a chair and felt like your legs just didn't want to cooperate? Like they were heavy, slow, almost disconnected from the rest of your body? Maybe it's harder to climb the stairs, or you find yourself pausing before stepping off the curb just to make sure you're balanced. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know you're not lazy, and you're definitely not broken. This isn't just getting older. What you're feeling may be the early signs of something called sarcopenia, a condition that causes gradual muscle loss as we age. It affects nearly 1 in 3 people over 60 and quietly robs you of your strength, independence, and confidence. But here's the good news. It's not irreversible. In fact, there are simple, powerful foods you can start eating today that can help you take that strength back. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 3 secret foods that can help restore muscle, improve balance, and support your nervous system, all backed by science and incredibly easy to add to your daily routine. But before we dive in, if you find content like this helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss future videos. That simple gesture is not only how you'll stay updated, it also helps this channel grow and gives me the motivation to keep bringing you more high-quality content to support your health and wellness journey. Let's start with something most people never see coming. You don't suddenly lose strength overnight. It creeps up on you. Maybe it starts when you're walking up the stairs and your legs feel heavier than usual. You brush it off. Then one day you're using your arms to push yourself out of a chair because your legs aren't helping like they used to. And soon, stepping off a curb feels like stepping off a ledge. You hesitate because your balance just doesn't feel the same anymore. This isn't just aging. It's not some inevitable decline you have to accept. What you're experiencing might be something called sarcopenia. It's a condition that affects almost every single one of us after 60, yet barely anyone talks about it. Sarcopenia is the gradual loss of muscle mass, strength, and function that comes with age. But here's the twist. It's not caused by aging alone. In fact, most of the muscle loss has less to do with your birth certificate and more to do with what's on your plate. See, after the age of 60, your body becomes less efficient at rebuilding muscle. It's like the repair crew is still there, but they need a louder signal to get to work. And that signal comes from something called leucine. Leucine is one of the essential amino acids. Your body can't make it on its own, so you have to get it from food. And it's the one that tells your muscles, hey, it's time to grow. But as we age, our muscles don't hear that message as well as they used to, which means we need more leucine to say the same thing. That's why the first food we need to talk about is eggs. If you're over 60 and you want to protect your strength, your independence, and frankly, your dignity, starting your day with eggs isn't just a good idea, it's the best one. Now, I know eggs have had a complicated reputation over the years. Some people still worry about cholesterol, but the science today is clear. For most adults, eating 1 to 2 eggs a day is not only safe, it's powerful. Each egg contains about 1.3 grams of leucine, which is just about the sweet spot for older adults trying to stimulate muscle repair after a night of fasting. That's right. Overnight, while you sleep, your body goes without fuel for hours. When you wake up, your muscles are practically begging for something to rebuild with. And eggs? They answer that call better than almost anything else you can eat. There was a fascinating study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Researchers followed a group of older adults over the course of 12 weeks. One group ate 2 whole eggs with breakfast, paired with fiber-rich foods like spinach or whole grain toast. The other group had a typical high-carb breakfast, think toast and juice. At the end of the study, the egg eaters had significantly more leg strength, better balance, faster walking speeds, and fewer falls. That's the kind of data that turns heads in geriatric medicine. But beyond the numbers, let me tell you about George.
George is 73 years old, a retired truck mechanic from Ohio. A big, strong guy most of his life, until one winter day he slipped in his garage. Not because he tripped or hit his head, he simply didn't have the strength in his legs to get back up. His wife had to call 911. That moment changed him, not physically, but mentally. He told me he started living in fear of falling again. He became more cautious, moved less, and over time got even weaker. When George came to see me, he didn't want pills, he didn't want therapy or surgery. He just wanted to feel strong again. So he started with breakfast, 2 eggs, every morning, sometimes scrambled, sometimes poached. He added a little spinach, maybe some whole grain toast. That's it. Nothing fancy, just consistent. Within a few weeks, George noticed he wasn't pushing off the armrests anymore when he stood up. A month later, he told me he was back in the garage tinkering with an old engine. He said, "Doc, I feel like myself again." That's the power of starting small, of giving your muscles the exact signal they need at the exact moment they need it. And eggs, they're not just breakfast. For someone over 60, they're medicine, they're strength on a plate. And once you understand what a difference something that simple can make, you start to realize this isn't about some complicated diet or expensive supplement. It's about getting back to basics and getting back to life.
Now that we've handled what your muscles need first thing in the morning, let's talk about what they crave when you're winding down for the night. Because believe it or not, while you're fast asleep, your body is wide awake on the inside, working hard to repair, rebuild, and reset. And if you give it the right kind of fuel before bed, you can literally strengthen your legs while you sleep. No gym, no stretching, no routines. Just one powerful food that quietly works behind the scenes. I'm talking about Greek yogurt. Not just any yogurt, specifically plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt with live cultures. This stuff is like a nighttime recovery shake built by nature. The key here is a special kind of protein it's loaded with, casein. Unlike the faster digesting proteins you might get during the day, casein is slow and steady. It digests gradually over the course of several hours, releasing a slow stream of amino acids to your muscles all night long. That's critical because after the age of 60, your body's ability to maintain muscle while fasting, like during sleep, starts to decline. But casein keeps the engine running quietly, giving your muscles the raw materials they need to rebuild themselves until morning. But there's even more to it. Greek yogurt is also one of the best natural sources of probiotics, the good bacteria that live in your gut. And here's why that matters. If your digestion is off, your muscle health is too. You could eat all the protein in the world, but if your gut can't absorb it properly, your body can't use it. Probiotics improve digestion, reduce inflammation in the intestines, and help your body extract and absorb more of the nutrients you're already eating, especially critical ones like protein, calcium, and magnesium. Now I want to share a quick story with you. Helen, a 77-year-old retired school teacher, came to me after a minor fall in her garden. She hadn't broken anything, thankfully, but it shook her confidence. She stopped going on her daily walks, even around the block. Her daughter told me Helen wasn't herself anymore, less active, less independent, and quietly losing strength every week. Rather than overloading her with changes, we started with just one, her evening snack. No more crackers and decaf tea. Instead, I asked her to try a small bowl of Greek yogurt an hour before bed. She started with plain, full-fat Greek yogurt, nothing flavored or sugary. Then she added a spoonful of ground flaxseed for fiber and omega-3s, some chopped walnuts for healthy fats, a handful of fresh blueberries for antioxidants. It became her little bedtime ritual, soothing, tasty, and surprisingly filling. Within 2 weeks, she felt lighter in the mornings. By the 3rd week, she told me she was getting up from her reading chair without bracing her hands. And within a month, she was walking her dog again, alone, steady, smiling. So if you're looking for a way to boost your strength while you sleep, this is it.
Go for a plain, unsweetened Greek yogurt, ideally one with 15 grams or more of protein per serving and live active cultures listed on the label. Choose the full-fat version if you can, because your body needs those fat-soluble vitamins to support joint and nerve function. Add a little texture, a tablespoon of chia seeds or flaxseed, some sliced almonds, maybe a dash of cinnamon. And timing is everything. Eat it about an hour before bed to give your body the nutrients it needs during its peak repair window.
So if eggs power your mornings and Greek yogurt repairs you at night, there's still one more quiet champion you should know about, especially if your balance feels off or your legs just aren't responding the way they used to. You know that strange, almost frustrating sensation when your brain says move, but your body hesitates for half a second? That lag? That's not just muscle, it's your nervous system struggling to keep the connection strong. And believe it or not, one of the best ways to support that connection comes from something so small you can barely see it: chia seeds. Now, chia seeds might not look like much. They're smaller than a grain of rice, they don't taste like anything special, and they take about 30 seconds to sprinkle into a meal. But inside these little seeds is something your aging body needs more than you realize: omega-3 fatty acids, specifically ALA, or alpha-linolenic acid. This plant-based omega-3 supports the health of your peripheral nerves, which are the communication lines between your brain and your muscles. When these nerves get sluggish, your reaction time slows, your balance falters, and everyday movements start feeling less secure. But ALA helps keep those neural signals sharp. It reduces inflammation along the nerve pathways and improves your body's ability to coordinate movement in real time. In simple terms, it helps your legs listen better to your brain. There was a study not long ago published in Nutritional Neuroscience where seniors who took just 1 tablespoon of chia seeds daily for 8 weeks showed improvements in walking speed, balance, and overall coordination, even without changing their exercise routine. Let me introduce you to Ronald. He's 79, a retired mailman from Oregon who used to call himself the Shuffler. That's how he described his walk: slow, careful, and stiff, like his legs didn't trust the ground beneath them. He also dealt with nagging nerve pain in his feet and calves that made stairs feel downright dangerous. He came to me frustrated, not because of pain alone, but because he felt like he was losing control. Ronald didn't want a complicated supplement schedule or more medications. He wanted something real, something natural. So we looked at his nutrition. That's where we added chia seeds. 1 tablespoon every morning, stirred into his oatmeal. Some days he blended them into a smoothie with spinach and banana. Other times he soaked them in almond milk overnight and added a pinch of cinnamon. That's it. Nothing fancy. Within 3 weeks, Ronald noticed a change. He said, "It's like my feet woke up." He could shift his weight without wobbling. He walked without overthinking every step. The pain in his calves? Nearly gone. What changed wasn't just his muscles. It was the nerve-muscle communication getting clearer and stronger thanks to the omega-3s in those tiny seeds. But chia seeds don't stop there. They're also packed with magnesium, which helps relax muscles and prevent cramping. Calcium, which keeps your bones strong and your posture stable. Fiber, which supports digestion and energy levels throughout the day. And yes, even plant-based protein, around 4 grams per serving, which adds another layer of muscle support. Using chia seeds is easy. Stir a tablespoon into your oatmeal or yogurt, toss them into a smoothie, make chia pudding by soaking them in almond milk with a little vanilla, or simply sprinkle them over roasted veggies or scrambled eggs. Just one important tip: soak them first, about 15 to 30 minutes in water or milk. When they absorb liquid, they form a gel-like coating that not only makes them easier to digest, but also helps your body absorb all those nutrients more efficiently, especially important for older adults whose digestion naturally slows with age. And here's a bonus: those soaked chia seeds expand in your stomach, helping you feel fuller for longer.
That's a small but powerful way to manage appetite, stabilize blood sugar, and support healthy weight, all factors that also play into joint pressure and movement control.
Now that you know what each of these powerhouse foods can do for your muscles and balance, the real question is, how do you put it all together? Because let's be honest, if it's too complicated, no one sticks with it. Thankfully, this routine isn't complicated at all. In fact, it might be one of the simplest and most effective things you ever do for your strength. Let's start in the morning. Within an hour of waking up, give your muscles the signal they've been waiting for. 2 whole eggs. Scrambled, poached, boiled, doesn't matter. Add some spinach or kale if you want a little extra. That first meal of the day is your body's cue to shift out of overnight breakdown mode and into rebuild mode. And those 2 eggs, they're enough to flip the switch. Then, sometime during the day, work in your chia seeds. Just 1 to 2 tablespoons is all it takes. Stir them into oatmeal, blend them into a smoothie, or soak them in almond milk for a few minutes and drizzle over fruit or yogurt. They're supporting your nervous system, fighting inflammation, and helping you stay steady on your feet, all without you even noticing. In the evening, about an hour before bed, it's time for Greek yogurt. Half a cup to a full cup of plain, unsweetened, full-fat Greek yogurt. Add some blueberries, walnuts, or a sprinkle of flaxseed if you'd like. It's not just dessert, it's your overnight muscle repair fuel. The casein protein in Greek yogurt digests slowly, feeding your muscles through the night while the probiotics help your body absorb more of what it needs. Keep this up for just 3 weeks, and you'll likely notice a shift. Maybe it's standing up from your chair without grabbing the armrests. Maybe it's walking upstairs with less hesitation. Or maybe it's just feeling more balanced and steady on your feet. That's not magic. It's your body responding to exactly what it's been missing. This isn't about supplements or complicated meal plans. It's about real food timed right. Protein in the morning, omega-3s during the day, slow digesting casein at night. A full circle strategy that helps rebuild the strength you thought you'd lost. And the best part? You can start tomorrow with breakfast, with a spoon, with a seed. And what you'll gain in return? Confidence, control, strength, that might stay with you for the rest of your life.
So here's what I want you to remember. You're not falling apart. You've just been underfueled. Your muscles aren't giving up on you. Your nerves aren't failing. And your balance? It's not gone. It's just waiting for the right kind of support. You don't need to settle for decline. You don't need to accept stiffness, instability, or the fear of falling as your new normal. Because your body hasn't stopped trying. It's been waiting for the tools to rebuild. And those tools? They don't come in a prescription bottle. They come on your plate. Every bite is a message to your body. 2 eggs in the morning? That's a message. Wake up, let's get stronger. A tablespoon of chia seeds during the day? That's a whisper to your nerves. Stay sharp, stay steady. A bowl of Greek yogurt before bed? That's your quiet reminder. You're healing, even in your sleep. These aren't just habits, they're hope. And the moment you make them part of your rhythm, something amazing happens. You feel the shift. You stand taller. You walk with more certainty. You catch yourself smiling, not because you're perfect, but because you're progressing. This isn't about reversing time. It's about reclaiming what time tried to take. Strength, confidence, control. And it starts with something as simple as breakfast. So, don't wait for a bigger problem to show up. You've got what you need right now. 1 meal, 1 spoonful, 1 seed at a time. Let's rebuild from the inside out.